I tried to beat Super Mario Wonder without touching a single block. The rules are simple. Anything that is a block, like a question mark block, a donut block, a brick block, a music block, we cannot touch. So is it possible? Well, let's just jump into it. The intro sequence features all of the characters slowly walking to the Flower Kingdom. Look at the Mario Brothers just casually walking on those illegal blocks. Thankfully, I can just jump above all of these and make my way to the first world. Welcome to the Flower Kingdom features a few blocks, and it's a great way to remind us that power-ups are typically hiding inside blocks, which means we cannot get them, and that kinda sucks. The only difficult section was over there, but a crouching jump will do the trick. Piranha Plants on Parade features so many music blocks all over the place, and that first jump was actually not even possible. Time to switch out to my boy Yoshi, but let me tell you that even as Yoshi, this level is a true nightmare. There are so many difficult jumps you have to make, including this one which require a flutter jump and a wall jump. Man, plus once you finally get to the final part, you just won't be able to clear this jump. It is impossible to make. My next idea was to get the Wonder Flower to try to reach this secret exit, but when you grab it, the game puts you back on a music block. At first I tried to avoid this happening, but soon I remembered my own rules for these challenges. If a cutscene places you on a block, well, you have no control over it, so what you need to do is that as soon as you regain control, you move out of the block. The thing is, this secret exit is still protected by a staircase of blocks, which means that getting over it is simply not possible. Is this the end of the quest already? Well, not if you grab a second controller, spawn a second Yoshi, and then use them both to gain enough height to clear the staircase. Yay, it worked! Scram Skedaddlers starts off with more music blocks, but we can just flutter jump from one tree to the next, avoiding them all in the process. As we enter this house here, we'll be given our first badge, the parachute cap, which allows us to glide, and that will come in handy for sure. Bull Rush coming through was actually very easy to beat, and the Bull Rushes will break the blocks on the way, so these guys are actually pretty cool. Here Come the Hopos doesn't feature a single block that's difficult to dodge, and with this level done, I realized that one of the break time levels wouldn't be possible. Wonder Token Tunes is full of music blocks, and there's just no way to dodge them all. Hurry Hurry wants you to run on all of these blocks, but we can just ignore them and jump on the rail under the coins, so we're good. Time to try the Wiggler Race, and this one was actually very difficult. This section with the music notes requires the parachute cap, and you'll need to time your jump just right, as it's very precise, but it is thankfully possible. Wall Climb Jump 1 features tons of platforms, but no blocks. Swamp Pipe Crawl features a million pipes, which would make a without touching a pipe challenge run difficult, but since today we're avoiding blocks, we're good. Time for the palace, and this one was all good, up until I reached this part. You see this pathway of rotating blocks? Well, there is no way to get through without actually hitting at least one. Oh, that sucks. And we cannot even use Yoshi's and the dry bones to maybe break them with the bones. They just go through. So yeah, we're gonna have to touch at least one block to flip it. Thankfully after that we can jump on Goombas and everything is good. But yeah, it is not possible to beat the game without a block. But you know what? Let's try to see what the minimum amount of blocks we have to touch is. Petal Isles is next, and typically I quickly get the Dolphin Kick badge, but this time around we won't be able to get it, as we have to destroy those brick blocks by swimming headfirst into them, which is definitely not something we want to do in this challenge. Leaping Smackerel featured a couple of blocks, but since it's an underwater stage, we can swim around all of them. Rowbird Cove featured one section with tons of blocks, but with the parachute cap, we can glide above them all. Bluebird Roost was a total joke, and with that level done, we can get to the next world. Out My Way Valley features those little guys that keep kicking ice blocks your way, and since we cannot touch these blocks, jumping above them is the only way out. It can be tricky at times, but if you have the parachute cap, things will be okay. Pokepede Pass was an insanely difficult level, as it features a bajillion snow blocks all over the place. I had to use Yoshi and do some very precise flutter jumps mixed with the parachute cap in order to bounce on enemies to make my way above all of the blocks. And since this level features so many, well, finding a way out without touching a single one is actually very tricky. Thankfully, the second half of the stage features way more platforms, allowing us to get to the flagpole and get this level done with. Wall Climb Jump 2 was pretty simple, as it only features those platforms you have to wall jump on. Con Darts Away starts off with these 3 rows of blocks that seem to be unavoidable, but thankfully the parachute cap will help you out once more. I was afraid of this part with all of the blocks all over the place. You can't just land down there, as you will land on this long question mark block. So what you have to do instead is to flutter jump to get those birds to break enough brick blocks so that you can squeeze to the right and use the parachute cap to just slowly go down and avoid everything. Pole Block Passage starts off with a vertical section where you need to hit blocks to create platforms to walk on and get on top. Thankfully, this level is full of Koopas, so we can just grab their shells and throw them at the blocks to make the platforms appear. Use that strategy throughout the entire level and you'll be good. It is time to visit the Floating High Jump 1 and the Fluff Puff Kerfuff levels to get 2 more easy Wonder Seeds, which will now allow us to get to Up and Down with Puffy Clouds, which was actually super easy. The Flying Battleship is next, and this one started off easy, with a bunch of boxes but very few blocks. But the second part of the level is actually full of blocks, and we'll have to bounce on every enemy we see to get to the end without landing on one of these yucky blocks. It was kinda scary, but it is possible. Countdown to Drop Down was actually not too difficult, as those countdown platforms aren't actually blocks, and the very few blocks on the way can all be dodged, especially if you ride Lakiitu's Cloud. I bought my last Wonder Seed at the shop and then made my way to the palace, which was thankfully super simple to clear. We're back on the Petal Isles, and the Wiggler Race is the level we'll attempt next. Without the Dolphin Kick ability, it is a bit more complicated to swim fast, but there's a section with a bunch of music blocks, so we needed the parachute cap anyways. Downpour Uproar contains a few more music blocks, but combining Yoshi's flutter jump with the parachute cap is all that is needed to clear it. Let's move to the third world and visit Hop Hoppin' Away, which was actually very easy. Unreachable Treasure was super simple, as you don't need to hit a single invisible block to get to the seed. You can just do a bunch of one-sided wall jumps. Crouching High Jump 1 is up, and this one doesn't feature a single block on the way, meaning we can get this badge and move to Hop to It, a stage featuring a couple blocks here and there, but those hoppy cats will break them for you, so we're all good. Lounge to Victory takes place on a moving platform and blocks will never be an issue. Across the Night Sky was also very simple and featured no blocks whatsoever. Time for the final trial, Zip Track Dash, and this one is full of these tracks you have to stand on to move super fast, so it was very simple to beat. There we go, World 3 is clear now, meaning we have to get back to the good old Petal Isles. Jewel Block Cave was one heck of a level. It features blocks all over the place. Crystal blocks, brick blocks, rocky blocks, blocks as far as the eye can see. Obviously, I cannot touch any of these, so I had to be creative and use the conch enemies and the spinies to break the crystal blocks so that they disappeared out of my way. This part over there was very technical, as I had to flutter jump and throw a shell to break the blocks. I had to move back and forth like a million times to get another shell and break another block. But eventually, I managed to clear out a way which allowed me to flutter jump above everything, and I reached the other side. It probably took 20 minutes to dig out a safe path, which was pretty tedious. But yes, with Yoshi, it is possible. Sadly, I don't have enough Wonder Seeds to get to the next world yet, so I had to spend a little bit more time in the Petal Isles, resulting in me going to the Flying Battleship level, which was actually very simple, especially since it features those flying clouds, which allows us to go anywhere. Time for World 4, and Armads on the Roll was super easy. Same thing goes for the Desert Mystery and Parachute Cap 2, which both don't feature a single block on the way. Rolling Ball Hall was simple, up until this wall of evil blocks appeared. This is the end. Just kidding, this big ball destroyed them all, so we're good. Blooms of the Desert Skies didn't feature dangerous blocks, so it was easy to clear, and Valley Full of Snoodles wasn't much more difficult. Sun-Baked Skirmish was all about defeating enemies, so blocks were no issue. But Secrets of Shova Mansion is all about pushing these blocks left and right, so I guess we won't be doing this one today. I got another Wonder Seed from the Floating Wonder Tokens level, which was way too easy, and I bought the remaining Wonder Seeds from this secret shop over there and made my way to the palace, and the level was very simple. We're back on the Petal Isles, and let's collect more Wonder Seeds, shall we? Starting off with Mama Mouthful, which is going to be very easy to beat, but it does feature a few blocks here and there. Gnausher Lair does feature a crap ton of blocks, but thankfully all of those little creatures eat them for you, clearing out the path. Nice. There is a section where I had to bounce on them to make my way to the other side of this huge pit, but it wasn't too bad. Alright my dudes, we can go to World 5 now. Up Shroom Down Shroom is full of mushrooms and pumpkins, but it lacks blocks, making it super simple. Tailey's Toxic Pond is difficult near the end, as you have to grab onto these little guys to avoid touching the blocks down there. Thankfully, the rest of the stage is simple. Wobberoons is next, and this one is super simple. To beat it, you need to get the Wonder Flower, which is hiding inside of a block, but this conch enemy will actually hit the block for you, so it's all good. Swaying Runes was super simple, and yes, before anyone says anything, these things may look like blocks, sure, but they are just the floor for this stage. The entire level is built like this, so if I start counting this as a block, well that would mean the entire Super Mario Bros. On the NES would be impossible, as everything is built like blocks, so it's floor, not a block, we're good. Poison Runes starts off with a wall and a block. Oh, yep. If you want to begin this level, you have to hit the question mark block. This is really annoying. There's another block we have to hit later in the stage, but since we have Koopas now, we can just use their shells. Sadly, once we turn into a Wobba, we have to hit yet another question mark block. Why? This level kinda sucks. It made us hit 2 more blocks. I hate it. After this level, we can save the guys from the mines. We just have to be clever and use the walls and ceilings to avoid touching the blocks, but it's all good. The boosting spin jump 1 level was very simple, and so was Muncher Fields. To get my 15th Wonder Seed from Petal Isles and unlock World 6, I had to race my pal Wiggler once more, and it was actually okay. It still requires the parachute cap and Yoshi's flutter jump for the most part, but it's all good. Time for the lava world, and we start off with Roomba's Rule, which was impossible if you grab the Wonder Flower. Some of the Roombas will break blocks and open up the path for you, but these few blocks there are just impossible to avoid, so let's ignore the Wonder Flower and make our way through the normal path, which thankfully is all possible. Choo choo! It's a flying battleship! And I don't know why I said choo choo. Anyways, the stage was actually not too bad, although it does feature a few blocks here and there, but it's good. Hut 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 features way too many hut blocks that can burn your butt, but by using the enemies, the parachute, and the flutter jump, we can actually get to the end of the stage without touching a single block. Wavy Ride through the magma tube was actually pretty simple to clear, and by eating this shell at the beginning of the stage, we can even hit this block to get the Wonder Flower, which is pretty cool. Dragon Boneyard was also super simple to clear, but now here's the problem. I have 11 Wonder Seeds, and I need 15 to proceed in the palace. And the thing is, I have to clear this level called Rarg in the Ruins to get access to more levels. But this one contains so many invisible blocks, and avoiding them all seems impossible. I managed to clear the first part on my own by just being careful and using the parachute cap. But this underground section was very difficult. Normally, you just ride on these blocks, but since I cannot do that now, I had to be very creative. So here's what I did. I switched to 2 players mode and I grabbed a shell. Once the shell was on the lava, I bounced on it, and as I was about to die, Peach jumped off Yoshi's back and made it out alive. Oh my gosh, this looks easy, but it took me 2 hours to perfect, and for what? Well, nothing, because look at this next section. Invisible blocks everywhere, and they are surrounded by very visible blocks. Yeah, even being extra careful where I step foot on, I have to touch at least 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 blocks, which is very sad. Grappling Vine 2 was a total joke, and Pull, Turn, Burn was also quite simple. So now we can go to the palace, and this one didn't feature a single block on our way, so beating it was pretty quick. Time for the Castle Bowser stages, and the first one, Missile Meg Mayhem, was actually very simple and didn't feature any difficult parts. High Voltage Gauntlet only featured one tricky jump at the end, but if you use the enemies, everything will be good. Evade the Seeker Bullet Bills wants a sacrifice. One block hit in order to remove that pink pipe on the way. Gosh dang it. Oh, wait a minute. Instead of using our own buddy, we can use this bullet bill and he's gonna hit it for us. Thank you so much, Billy. Bowser's Blazing Beats was kinda challenging as it features a lot of blocks. Thankfully, the big lava fists can often destroy them and clear out the path. One part that wasn't possible was over there. I just couldn't make the jump no matter what. So, I pulled out my second player strategy yet again, and it worked out fine. Bowser's Rage stage is up, and I had to pull out the second player for one more jump near the end, but thankfully it was possible. The boss fight was as simple as it can be, and with this final jump done, we did it! We saved the world once more! But no, it is not possible to beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder without touching a single block. We have to hit this one in the first palace, 2 more in the Poison Runes, and a couple more in the Runes level of World 6. I guess that's an acceptable performance, would you say? Thanks a lot for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and sorry about my voice in that one, I'm still sick. But I'll get better, I'm sure. Alright, bye!